Let me dare refresh. Oh, wait, we're being live streamed. Got it. All right. Yo. Even after doing this for over 100 episodes, 2 full years, there's still plenty of hiccups to be had. And that's just one of the tales of technology. What is up, everyone? It is Monday, May 9th, and we are back for another edition of the Stay at Home Open Mic presented by the Barbed Wire Open Mic series. We kind of had a false start, so I don't know how long we were actually live. And if you heard me talking to myself or talking to everyone on Zoom who's muted, but it, of course, comes across like I'm talking to myself. Trust me, there are people here. You're going to get to meet them. You already know most of them. Unless this is your first time tuning in, this is an online open mic, a virtual open mic. And just like any other open mic, it involves a list of people who have signed up to share their writing, their work. Of course, we also welcome songwriters. So please, if you ever want to join us, it is as easy as signing up on our sign up list, which goes out at the latest the day before this show. So, of course, we're here every Monday from 8 p.m. to about 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We usually start the show 20 minutes after, as you can see. But yes, welcome. Shout out to everyone who was in the chat. I saw that Donna was here earlier, and I know that people will be tuning in. My name is Rich. I'll be your host tonight. Shout out to Old Sheepdog Brewery, by the way. This is one of our live venues that we get to do a show the last Thursday of every month. I really love it now, especially since we've been able to go move back outside to the patio. We have a nice new stage, and it's a nice place to just have a beer, order some food, and hang out, enjoy people's creative work. So as far as this virtual mic goes, there is still some spaces open. So if you're on YouTube right now watching this, go in the description of this video, and there you will find a link to sign up. And of course, as long as there are spaces open, you are welcome to come and share your work. If you are maybe just shy about doing so, maybe check it out this week, fill it out, see what you think. You're going to get to meet a lot of the online poets who are here week in, week out, trying some new stuff, working on their craft continuously. And, you get to be part of that scene, So we do welcome Andres. What is going on? Check it out. So the way it works is I will call people up and they'll have 5 to 7 minutes to do their thing. Share some poetry, tell a joke, maybe a new dance move, whatever. Places, of course, we just want to respect the mic and each other. We'll take care of each other, but we'll take care of that when that happens. Shout out, of course, to Barbed Wire Open Mic. That is our show, and we do have a couple of shows. I already mentioned Old Sheepdog last Thursday of every month, but tomorrow, if you're watching this, check us out downtown at Mona Bar of Modern Art. It is in downtown El Paso, right next to the legendary, infamous Tap Bar and Restaurant. Get some nachos, come over and enjoy the open mic. Sign up starts it's kind of a late show as well. We start after 9. Shout out to Ron Mark Thompson on the live chat as well. He says he's too shy for me. He's great. You got to go back in our archives and catch Ron sharing some of his work. Anyway, that's Mona Bar. We also have an open mic at Craft Rhythm and Brews. Oh, I had a can here. I was going to show you the can, but I just threw it away. The 20th of this month, that's going to be on a Friday. Come through, check that out. We have a new, well, it's relatively new. We've already had a couple of shows, but we have a room that's separate from the bar, and that is really nice to have. So we get to separate from just people who want to be there and enjoy the show. What we call the listening room, the speakeasy. So come through and speak easily. May 20th at Craft Rhythm and Brews. We're back at Mona because that one's every other week, so every 2 weeks, every fortnight. And yeah, if you guys do want to be kept up to date and aren't already doing so, you can just follow us online at Barbed Wire Open Mic Series right there. You type that in and we will show up. So without further ado, I do want to introduce you guys to our peeps tonight. We'll just kind of go one by one as always, and we're gonna start of all places, in El Paso, because since we're virtual, we get to travel all over the place. But right now, we're going to start home and welcome Robin Schofield to the mic, who, of course, Tumble Words regular. In fact, call the poet laureate of Tumble Words. Yeah, and she's always rocking the mic and the page, and of course, rocking the outfits. All right, Robin, how are you doing today? Welcome, and you get to kick off the show. How's it going?
Pretty good, Richie. Yeah, I'm wearing, I know you can't see it, but I'm wearing my Tumble Words t-shirt. So I think somebody designed those some years ago. I think it's a collector's item now. So I want to read some poems about some people who are mothers, and I'm going to start off tragic. And I was reminded of this poem by somebody recently. It's called Moving from El Paso, for Lindsay Parker Tall. Lindsay, I wish I could tell you the new owners cut down the tall yellow flowers outside your old house and left the hulking pine, sparse ocotillo. 5 years ago, you packed up your new husband and his dogs, your daughters and their horses for life in Mission, Texas, down the dusty valley, and you brought your songbird laugh, your blue porcelain eyes, your knack for brilliant friends. You would, my friend, shrug off the flowers in favor of moving on, just as you left Milky Way. Sure, your old cat was safe with me. Katrina and Emily you raised as desert people, tough, springing back, drought after drought. But first their father's death, now this. How much is too much too young? Your father said you were happy before your husband fumbled his career in the Border Patrol for guns or money or drugs. Then on a warm day in January, on the Rio Grande Plain near the Gulf, he shot you in the head. At least he called emergency and didn't try to conceal the crime. Confessed and pled out of trial. It seems like honor, but that is the wrong word, for you're still dead at 45 by his gun. The wrong word, because your daughters are still teenagers, because your parents are still alive, because the dog you rescued sniffs for you, trying to find the rest of your life. So that was for my friend Lindsay. Care. What am I going to read now? Oh yeah. I'm trying to find the sonnets. There it is. Yes. I wrote a sonnet about my sister's miscarriage. It has a long title. The garden staked in May after artificial insemination, then a late term abortion. My sister hacks through frozen ground to plant her sculptured roses around the chestnut trees. Directions say each fall to dig up, unplant, and late in spring to raise these topiaries, to overwinter, bury them in hay, to insulate the naked taproots twisting into trunks, crowns upped for a warm day, not winter snow in light severely slanting. At 40, Stacy had her first child with spina bifida taken from her womb. We talk of spades, this spring's freezing cold, and throw Miracle Grow down the holes. In June, Raspberries green in the woods start to ripen, but it's too dark to go and look for them. Okay. So now I want to read a little more, a lighter poem and end on a lighter poem. And it's for the young man who made me a mother, who makes me a mother every day, I should say. It's called Changes at Percha Dam. We have to stop and get you a fishing license. I don't care to catch any fish, but want this time with you under the trees by the Rio Grande, outdoors. We go over a levee on a dirt road to get to the dam in still water. Your bones stretch and tendons snap as you break your line. Above us, bald eagles roost. Suddenly, I'm looking up into your heron blue eyes. I'm level with the crooked crowns that came in after the milk teeth, your brow furrowed from birth. I held you during the helpless years, but now you develop muscles without effort and slam the car door hard because you don't know your new strength, and you bang your head because you don't realize how tall you've grown. Self-involved, shaving what you like to see in the mirror, a smile born of braces shining in your mouth. Testosterone erupts on your 17-year-old cheeks. I see my own face staring back at me, yet without the green eyes or curls. Your straight hair has darkened from the towhead of kindergarten. By your bed, the swimsuit issue lies open to Serena Williams. The air's warm for December, the water cold. We go swimming and you tell me you're reading Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man and Dawn of Decadence by Jacques Barzun, a book I heard of in grad school but didn't read. One day you'll be one of the rhetoric boys with big boots and big voice. Your legs are hairy as honeybees. Moss creeps over the northern side you keep turned away at night when a pale stamen spills nectar. And that's, thank you, everybody. Yeah, that's from Flow, which I should mention. Flow is a nice little book. And it won an award from librarians. And that's what I have.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you, Robin. And as always, I encourage people to check out Flow and inquire if there are any copies of Sunflower Cantos as well. But as always, hit up Robin for that. But you can do so by sending her an email, right?
Yes. Yes, I'll put my email in the chat. And Sunflower Cantos, I don't have very many copies of it, so it's available at Mouthfeel Books.
Mouthfeel, yeah. Shout out to Miranda Maloney. Awesome. Those were nice poems. What a good collection. And of course, way to start off the show. Robin Schofield, thank you so much. Yes, we didn't have a chance to. So if you have any Mother's Day themed poems as well, heavily encouraged if you're reading tonight. But of course, not required. You can read whatever you want, right? Including the cover poem, something we do here. If you want to, well, we'll talk about it later. Let's go and keep going. We're going to go ahead and continue on virtually to Denver, where our next performer, much like the collection of writers that he always, helps promote, he has become a beacon of light in this community as well. Let's go and welcome Michael Sindler. What's going on, man?
Hey, good to see you. Good to see everybody. I think as for my first thing, I'm going to do one. Yesterday was Mother's Day, which is very complicated things for a lot of people. I was very lucky that, well, I won't say my relationship wasn't somewhat complicated. Still could have had a much worse mother than I did. I love her and I miss her. But she wasn't the only one. And for a lot of people, there are other people who sort of fill in that thing. And even for me, there are other people who help fill it in. And this is called Mother's Circle. The women in my mother's circle, each in different ways, my life nurtured, filled cracks in knowledge I could fall through with confidential ears that I could talk to about so many things I didn't understand as I struggled on the road to be a man. In my heart, each one still holds a special place. Their wisdom still echoes from beyond the grave. With their compassion and their empathy, those priceless gifts of time they gave to me. And like I say, there's just, there are a lot of people who fill important spaces, and they're not necessarily always related to you. Second one, I was just looking and noticed, oh, I didn't actually read this one here, so I'm going to do it. Wrote it a little while back. A lot of people here have heard it. It's called Water. I spoke to the stone. Its reply was an echo, a hard lesson on how to listen, on how to learn from repetition. I spoke to the fire. Its reply was warm, its crackling voice wavering and leaping, full of blistering passion. I spoke to the wind. Its reply was chilling, lashing in its silent rebuke, leaving no room for response. I spoke to the water, each word rippling on its shimmering skin. Its reply sang in waves and babbles and roars. Its voice leapt like fire, rushed like wind, sat as still and tranquil as stone, whispering secrets it learned in the clouds. Speaking through the greenery that pulled its voice into their own, a perfumed chorus of floral players. It poured its message into me and through me and out of me again through every pore. Its words war against the stone, rubbing ridges into its brow. It tamed fire, conjoining as steam, reaching new heights, then condensing down to earthier phrasing. It danced on the wind, flying as fable around the globe and back to me. I fell asleep to water's tale, woke wet and clean and thirsting for more. And in my continuing quest for new forms, this is a Samoka, which I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's a Japanese form that's 577-577 and is typically a conversation often between lovers. And this is called Summon. Did you summon spring? Why summon what's before me? A still wind blows between us. Roses bloom in its breath. It encircles us gently, turning hearts into blossoms. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put the hat on. I hadn't really thought about it, so I just pulled this one up pretty quick by one of the great original CBGB, actually guy who built the stage of CBGBs with his own hand, Mr. Tom Verlaine, as opposed to the other Verlaine whose name he took it from. And these are one called The Scientist Writes a Letter. Dear Julia, unless chance finds us face to face again, this is the last you'll hear from me. I spent this Sunday, a long afternoon, freezing at my friend's house by the sea. we men of science, I've returned to my research in magnetic fields. It's funny how attractive indifference can be. My sense of failure, it's not so important. Electricity means so much more to me. We men of science, it's snowing again. Seems like it's always snowing. Sit down to write and it's so cold. Outside my window, there's a tree so white I can hardly look at it. It's quiet here. I look through my glass at patterns, all so well defined. Please send my winter coat as soon as you can. I find I have no other lines. We men of science, all the best. All the best, Julie. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mike. And I don't think you got to start off with it this time, but do you have anything like to promote? I mean, at least.
As always, I do want to call out lighthousewriters.org, and I want to mention the fact that LitFest starts on June 10th. So if you're thinking about taking any of those classes, get on here and find something, because they are going to fill up. A lot of them are already filled up, and there are only a very limited number of things that are online. The vast majority of it is actually there. However, there are a lot of stuff going on in the evenings. It's LitFest is only 2 weeks long instead of a whole month this year. But there are events going on almost every evening that you can register for and watch. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's going to be on Zoom. As of right now, I only know it's going to be in person at a place called Book Bar here in Denver. But anthology that Lighthouse put out that I'm in for the second year in a row, second edition. We've been nominated for Colorado Book Award for Best Anthology, and I'll be one of the several people doing reading there. And I'm hoping that in addition to it being a live event, it will also be streamed on Zoom, because it was last year. And if so, I will let y'all know between now and then, even though I know Richie has an event going on at the very same time. We don't care about Richie's event. Okay, well, thank y'all.
that was a great transition back to me. I love it. No, congratulations. That's amazing. Like, and the cool thing about it being live streamed is usually they keep the recordings so we can check it out later on, even if we can't make it, which I think is pretty cool. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Keep our ears to the ground. That's excellent news. Congratulations on that publication. One of my favorite things about kind of being here now for several years and being week in and week out, getting to talk to all of you is just also and also see you guys perform and read your work, is just to see everyone's work evolve and just grow, and even into publications, and including people's very first collections of poems. That includes our next performer, who I believe it looks like you can already pre-order her new book. But I'll let her talk a little bit more about it. Let's go ahead and head off to New Jersey. That's right. We're taking our invisible Zoom jet to New Jersey, East Coast, and welcome to the stage, Terry Rose. What's going on? How are you tonight? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. I'm home. I got home okay. The deer are like, it's brutal with the deer running out in front of the cars down here. So of course, inevitably, I have to stop suddenly to avoid hitting deer. But thank God I didn't hit any, because I haven't, I had an accident recently in February, and I don't want to have another one.
I remember that sounds like as soon as you said you were driving home, like, take your time.
Yeah, I slowed down when I saw little shadows of little four-hooved, fawns. Like the real small ones are hard to see too. So I was like, oh shit, there's a bunch of, babies crossing the road up there. Anyway, so yeah, the book, Chameleon Chronicles. If anyone's interested in a copy, let me know. You can PM me on iFunny's mom on Instagram or on my name on Facebook, which is Teresa Rose Jertson. And you could just like instant message me or something. And I have PayPal, so we can like set up PayPal or some other way if you don't want to do PayPal. All right. So I was going to read 2 poems that were, one's about my mother, and it's in the book. And the other one is about an experience that I had, and it's called The Calling. So I'll read my mother one first. My mother likes to tell funny stories. One of her favorites was this one. She used to say that when I was a toddler, I had a child's tea set, and I would like to play with this often. On this occasion, I was bringing her tea while she was on the telephone with a friend. My mother said I would hand her the teacup and she would pretend to drink the tea. This was just water, but she got curious to know where I was getting this water from because I was too small to reach the faucet on the sink. After she got off the phone, she followed me into the bathroom where she observed me scooping the cup into the toilet and then holding it up for her to drink. Another thing my mother would do was pass down wisdom of the ages to me, such as, the first thing to go is the eyes. When in doubt, leave it out. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. It is better to keep your mouth shut and have people think you're an idiot than to open it and prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. You will understand it, or sorry, you will, I just lost my place. Hang on. You will understand when you're older. I hope you have one just like you when you grow up. Wait till your father gets home. If you two can't get along, I will knock your heads together. Honesty is the best policy. Save your money. Do your chores, and you will get the money to save for the things you want. Because I said so, that's why. And because I'm your mother. So that's that piece. And this one is called The Calling. When I was in 3rd grade, approximately 8 years old, I was mandatorily required to attend church every day, except Saturday. Children, as the rule of the day, were to be seen and not heard. I could not voice my displeasure or risk getting a beating with the belt for backtalking. Punishment was corporal. DCP&P did not exist back then. If I dare buck the system. Having independent thoughts were always risky and never fully understood by my elders. As I grew, I learned about the Holy Order and thought perhaps that if I was good enough that God would take me in and save me from my sin and the rest of the world, which seemed so corrupted to me at the time. I tried to be good. I did everything the nuns told me. I prayed hard. I meditated on God's creation, but not his word, because that was only for the highly educated priest who had the calling and could interpret all the symbolic and secret languages penned by the saints of God. I asked myself the question, could I be a saint? My family said, no way. Why was that idea so far out there? Weren't the priests and nuns at one time someone's sons or daughters? Were they not human or transformed into something greater? I would not give up my quest. I wore the scapula. It was blessed. I was instructed that if I never took it off, I would automatically go to heaven. I told my mom when she asked why I would never take it off, but she seemed to be annoyed by my answer. My mom had a general annoyance with all things associated with the church at the time. She, for one, did not believe that we had to attend Catholic school. I remember my parents disagreeing about many things back then, before the divorce. However, I knew I had the calling and no one was going to tell me otherwise. When I mentioned this to the Holy Order, they did not take it seriously. When I mentioned it to my mother, she just laughed and said, no woman in this family could ever be a nun. She said I would not understand this until I was older.
Right on, right on. Thank you, Terry. Your mom, huh? She's like, I'll have none of that. Alrighty then.
She
If
just
I
wanted
had to drink
grandkids.
that water, I'd be having none of that.
Alrighty then. Was it just those 2?
I have one more if there's time.
Oh, absolutely. There's time. Yeah. I was like, I was waiting for the surprise poem.
I am going to give you the surprise poem right now. I have to kind of scroll rather slowly through this stupid file where they all are. Okay. So this one's a list poem on forgiveness. It only seems natural I should read this after I read any poem about my mother. So I forgive the guy who cut me off in the parking lot of Wawa, who I gave the middle finger to today. I forgive my husband, who has made a lifetime out of forgetting everything I asked him not to do. For the 22-year-old revoked license, non-insurance driving man-child who did not notice that there was 2 cars stopped in front of him, and as a result, careened in 100 miles per hour into the back end of my car with me and my husband inside. My husband, who was just cleared to go back to work after 6 months and 3 months of physical therapy, now needs another 3 months of therapy. My insurance company for initially telling me I was not insured for this type of accident. The first lawyer that told me that he would just give my case as much attention as the other $1 million cases. The second lawyer who told me I would call her anytime, and after 4 phone calls still has not called me back. The DVR worker who I got through unemployment to help my husband find a job, who said to me she was not a concierge service when I asked her to follow along with my husband for his first day on the job. Again, for the same woman who said there was follow-along services, and once my husband acquired a job, called him a week later to say that she could no longer see him because her boss told her in reality it was because the job was not a $7 an hour part-time job. It was a $15 an hour job, full-time with benefits. And she was tired of being called on her shit. For myself, because I cry and then I get angry and then I cry, and I will tell anyone who is willing to listen why I am sad, depressed, or anxious. Number 10, I forgive 2020 and 2021 and 2022 for being shit years in which I had vacation plans to see my family ruined and hundreds of dollars lost, for the time I will never get back again, and the people who died I will never see again. I further forgive the years of COVID and pandemic because I began to write poetry and found myself again when I never realized that I was lost. I forgive my parents who did the best they could at the time of my youth when they were in the Battle of the Roses. I forgive that priest who told me that everything I was taught for the past 9 years of parochial school was a matter of interpretation. This sent me on a downward spiral due to my entire belief system being shit-canned. Number 14, I forgive the 2 sponsors that I tried to work on my recovery with. The first one who said she literally did not remember how to do step work, and the second one who had the temper of a psychopath when triggered and unleashed it on me. 15, I forgive my children for being children in adult bodies. 16, I forgive my exes, even though I wish they would all go to Texas and stay there. Texas is not a place I ever wish to return to, especially if they are banished there. 17, I forgive my relatives for shit talking on me every chance they get because they are so superior in their ways and minds. Not. Number 18, I forgive my sister-in-law for being a huge C word to me when she was alive, and I forgive her for taking her sorry to the grave. 19, I forgive my heart for being broken in my body and for breaking down as I am not immortal. And 20, I forgive God for giving me no understanding at an early age of how to love myself.
Oh, Terry, what a transition. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. You already did such a great job of promoting your social media. Do you have any features or readings or things you'd like to promote right now?
I will put it in the chat. I think it's coming up this weekend, I believe, is the readathon for all the 15 people that are coming out in the next published 15 people by Red or Green Books. So I can put that in there and you guys can check it out if you're interested. And we're all going to be reading out of our books, and the artist that has designed all the cover art and the back cover art is also going to be there talking about her process.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Terry. As always, go and show some love in the chat. Leave those emojis. Whew, yeah, they're just not the 15 there, the fierce 15. Got to keep that in mind, right? Um, no, I love a good list poem. You know, it's a good way to just get things off your chest. I forget about them sometimes, but I would love to see the day. Well, just visually, to someone come up to an open mic with a list poem, and then they proceed to unfurl a giant scroll. That'd be quite comical. But of course, maybe I remind them of the limit too, at the open mics, at the in-person ones. But yeah, we'll check out the Fierce 15. Be on the lookout for that reading as soon as we get that link. Yes, I was thinking that, yeah, I'm referring on YouTube right now. What's up, UCP? He signed up to read a little bit later on in the list, which isn't too later, to be honest. But yeah, Chris, Kit was referring to the Chris Jericho. If you guys followed wrestling, the whole 1004 holds thing, that was a great segment from my youth that I remember. All righty then, let's go ahead and keep going. I'm gonna stop reminiscing to myself. Okay. Generalissimo's not here yet. Maybe he still have some time. I don't know why he just thought of a specific Isimo joke, but we'll get to that when he gets back or gets here. Let's go ahead and head off to Pittsburgh, where we're going to visit Vale Larkin, who's got, as always, some awesome poetry to share with us. What's up, Vale?
Hi, how you doing?
Excellent. I'm excellent. It's great to be here. How are you?
Good. Okay, I'm going to do a cycle I think I might have done here before. One time when we had a little longer set available, but I'm just in the mood to do it. It's a 5-piece cycle. Invincible Moments. Those singular, invincible moments. Last summer on the lake. She was reading to me on the bluffs above the shore, The Last Unicorn, and the sun on her hair and the light off the water filled my heart with gold. The sky over the water was streaming, yellow, purple, rose, and blue, rising in towering battlements above and within the skin of the lake. But in the depths, the Red Bull roared, and wave foam wept, and all the butterflies burned out. Everywhere around us, eyes gazed upward to see phantom dragons rampant in the clouds, flaming the sun down the sky. I alone looked down, watching her, turned away and up with all the rest, and I knew in that aching moment that all our dreams would flee as she followed them upward, inevitably, as I wandered, earthbound and pathless. I heard the sky tolling the end of our story. I watched her face, rose gold, and my heart pulled from me, reaching its desperate tendrils out, and always toward her, grasping the last strands of our fairy tale, weaving them into the deep fabric of myself before she slipped away. I can never regret. I can sorrow, but it's not the same thing. Peter S. Beagle, The Last Unicorn. Those moments when everything aches with a truth beyond reality. City on fire. We flew down the road at the speed of the music. We were high as eagles, chemicals coursing, and the laws of the world were unwieldy and tedious. We rebelled, boarding the currents to carry us onward. We revolted, revolving in space, time, and landscapes beyond. I saw ahead the skyline of the city, and it was stained with streaming red and arsenic flames, a conflagration massive as stars. You did not look up. One voice says, grasp tight to the rider, pale and promising, burn with the great fire. I almost caught his cloak. But then the second voice says, this too may be delusion. Lay back, wind to catch you. sleep in the arms of this world as the old one ashes away. And he who was seated on the throne said, Behold, I am making all things new. John of Patmos, Revelations 21:5. Those moments of awakening, of understanding in a breath what wakefulness can be, all the myriad definitions of life. The temple steps. I slipped through trees and undergrowth grown green and knowing, eve coming in hushed sunlight coming in points like stars through the canopy of boughs overhead. I will never know where those old stone risers in the clearing came from, or why I will always long for their silent mossiness in the leaf-dusted glow. Following them down and down where deep pools of shadow simmer beneath the verdure, where I am filling my veins with chlorophyll, I will root myself here on this battered stage, stones like teeth, broken and chaotic. The steps rise on three sides, a wave carrying the audience up and then down on phantom actors. This is a theater for birdsong and brief scuttlings now. Lost art, lost music, lost years long gone. The air vibrates now only to the beat of the earth's heart and to the melody of life on scintillating life. But what I like is the excitement of choosing a path carefully, in the fear that the quagmire may reach out and suck me down. I like sufficient danger to put an edge on things. Jean Stratton Porter, A Girl of the Limberlost. Those moments when chains break, and your feet lift from the earth, and all around you joins together in the song of the soul. Church of all gods. They didn't matter. The vaulted halls and the aged hymnals worn by devotion. Pages softened to tissue that would dissolve like wafers if I tasted them. Still, there was a special kind of fire that poured through stained glass into that glory of voices, and a ravishing reverence the singing revealed. It would have been the same with any deep, rich, stirring sound in that place. It would have been the same breathless wonder, gathered here in a space made for magic. In the golden haze, we were all the same, iridescent and elevated. Eyes through the ceiling and not on our fears, we reached for heaven in unison. They didn't matter, the whited priests and the aged worshippers worn by their worries. The light illuminated what it touched, zealot and heathen alike. And the music gave voice to all the voiceless. I love when you bow in your mosque, kneel in your temple, pray in your church. For you and I are sons of one religion, and it is the Spirit. Khalil Gibran, the Prophet. Those singular invincible moments, those endless moments whose sweet sharpness, whose wordless vows, whose blossoming hearts guard every moment following forever. I am 6 years old, and I am seeing a violin. My heart broke open, and history poured in. Salman Rushdie, The Ground Beneath Her Feet.
There was something so storybook like about it, the way you led us through, and you have this way of looking back to the camera, like you're looking back at the audience. You're doing such a great job of reading that. Thank you, Vel. That was amazing. What was the name of that piece again?
Invincible Moments.
All right, I need to write this down. That way, so next time you ask about favorites, you know, I can refer to it with a name instead of like, yeah, there was that one line about because there's always great lines to refer to, right? So Vel, do you have anything coming up that you'd like to promote, or at the very least, how people can follow you?
Well, you can follow me on @ValeLarkin on Instagram, Larkin Vale on Twitter, Vale Larkin, all one word, on Linktree. And in lieu of donations to me, because I am disabled and cannot earn money, talk to your politicians. Please donate to support.theukrainians.org to support translations efforts in Ukraine, and sisterspgh.org/donate, which is a Black trans femme-led organization that helps the homeless LGBT population. Thank you.
Awesome. And thank you, Vale, for sharing that. I got to make sure to share some of those links right now on our live stream. By the way, shout out to everyone watching on a live stream. Liz, we got Julian Matthews as well, leaving a little comment earlier. Alrighty then. I will share those links right now in just a moment. But now I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next performer, who is rocking one of our very rare t-shirts. That's right, custom BWOMS logo, black tee. He's done so much to help BWOMS both online and in person. So of course it was a natural thing to get him a t-shirt. Let's go ahead and welcome him, Mr. Monday Night. It's so early in the night, but it doesn't matter how early it is. It's still time for Mr. Monday Night. Let's go ahead and make some noise and welcome to the stage, Kit Wren. Take it away, Kit.
Mr. Monday Night. Hell yes. Okay. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, everyone before me and everyone after me, presumably. Do 3 of mine and then a cover. But plagiarism unexpectedly came back into the news this morning. A young writer whose first novel was pulled for plagiarism wrote a confessional essay about the experience on LitHub, which was itself plagiarized. I wrote about a different plagiarism case a few years ago. This was published in Chismosa Press Volume 2. Seemed like a good day to pull it out again. I turn in my thoughts to the young woman in North Carolina who got someone else's words tattooed on her forearm. No sin in a vacuum. In fact, a commonplace occurrence. But she claimed the words as her own. When she came across a certain poem, she really liked the phrase, something about spitting teeth into a sink. She took to it. She thought it was a metaphor. But like a toy collector, it became a metaphor in her submission and under her skin. But like a toy collector, she kept it in its original packaging, which made it easy for the presumably veneered original poet to note and prosecute the theft. In the interest of full disclosure, I too have had a recent incident involving the literal spitting of a broken tooth into a functioning but not pristine sink. But that was my own fault. The crusting of a new century of bad habits. So it doesn't have the emotional resonance I need for it to be useful imagery. I'm sure you agree. I have some brotherly advice for the young woman from North Carolina. If you must steal, you cannot refrain from it. Choose something more useful than trauma to take. I don't know, take a bicycle. Take something you can enjoy. Go to the Target, to the large canisters of jelly beans, proprietary, impossibly literal flavors, Dr. Pepper jelly beans, recursive sins streamed by the candy floss devil. Slowly trigger the release lever. Let between 8 and 12 lumps of sugar fall noiselessly into your hand and shove them down your gullet like the contraband they technically are. Repeat as needed. I go to the Target now and see the jelly beans in there. Unsatisfactory plastic packaging of, at an eyeball guess, about 2.5 servings. And I know that I have made a difference in the world. But I had to leave that life behind me. I reached a breaking point, and then a broken point, and then the swell in my heart from my bite-sized theft migrated to my gums. I'm sorry for making this about myself, young woman from North Carolina. And I want you to please believe me when I say that I mean no harm. I am not here to quote tweet you dismissively for street cred, pushing down on the social media Skinner box for my treat. But if you're really intent on spitting tea. And if you now share everyone's distrust of you around metaphor, follow the path I have paved. We'll have you in the big chair soon enough, under the eyes of a paternal and forgiving dentist, scraping the rot off the way that prayer is supposed to. Don't plagiarize, kids, and brush your teeth. Two separate but important lessons in the same poem. Oh, Richie's got volume 2 up. That's cool. Okay, and now, since it's Mother's Day and my mom already tried to embarrass me, I managed not to blush. That was impressive by me. But I have a poem about her too, so we can both play this game. My mother wants to share in the pride of our neighbor, but feels compelled to make small amendments. It's a fine tree, she says, but it's not a mesquite. Mesquites don't flower. And do you see those thorns? Your excellent mesquite is an even better acacia. It occurs to me that this is that thing that I am asked to produce on demand like a photo ID, a practical use for poetry, to correct affections without changing their vectors. Our love, like a contract, must be drawn with care and in terms as specific as possible. I am proud to call this the family business, an ancient, noble, and essential trade, to mark the place of the thorns and buds, to map the trails of the wandering shadows, and to match prisms to their suited lights. And one more of mine, also about mom. My mom and I are in the same field and arrived independently at the same heroes. She rushes over one morning to tell me that Carolyn Forche just accepted her friend request. I'm in the grocery store that afternoon and she texts me to say that Carolyn just liked the link she shared. First name basis, huh? Just like that. I don't mean to make fun. This is genuinely exciting to me, despite its silly 21st century scene markers. I think if this moment were fuel, it would burn cleanly and brightly. It is just as well that memories are not fuel, and that we cannot, in moments of panic and shortfall, attach thermite to our mountainous lobes and blow through, taking only the moments we want. Okay, and for the cover poem, this is by Mary Ruffel. It's a prose poem. It's called Short Lecture on Translation by Mary Ruffel. I asked my friend, the translator, what was the first known act of translation in the history of mankind? His answer was probably something into or out of Egyptian. I thought about this for a while and ventured a certainty. No, I said. It was when a mother heard her baby babble or cry and had to decide in an instant what it meant.
Awesome. Thank you, Kit. And as you already know, man, where can we follow and support you online?
Got the little thing. I keep saying I'm going to print a new one, and then I never do because I'm a liar. Instagram at Kit Renaway, Twitter at Kit Talk Sports, which is as it suggests, coffee.com/Kit Ren, belletristic essays about football. Find me on Facebook pretty easily. You can drop something in the tip jar if you want to on PayPal, or you can just send me an email. Tumble words this week will be Brian Franco with a little help from his friends. He's got a couple of ringers in to read their poems live instead of just doing a PowerPoint like a normal person. But that should be fun. That'll be interesting. And so I'll see you then, and see you wherever I see you.
That's great, man. Thank you, Kit. Let's go ahead. Yeah, there you go. Back. All right. What is up, everyone? If you are just tuning in, welcome to our Monday night online open mic. We just celebrated 2 years and over 100 episodes. So it's great to be here. We have more people signed up. So we're going to go ahead and just get them on. In fact, it's already a couple weeks in a row where all has been right in the universe as far as lists go, where we have the 1-2 punch of the birthday twins. And it was so fun to get them a double feature back in October. So maybe we can do something else again for them pretty soon in terms of featured readings. Also, if you're following the YouTube channel, if you're watching right now and aren't already subscribed, subscribe. First of all, it helps. But secondly, if you already subscribed, you may have noticed that yesterday I uploaded a couple new videos, about 3 of them. So now that school's finishing up, I have a little bit more time. I have like a whole list of poems and performers that I'm going to be posting on our YouTube channel that aren't the online mic. And our next performer is definitely going to be included in that list because I have quite a few performances I'm going to share. So without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome on the stage Lee Martinez Soto, MV Lee. What's going on, Lee? You got a new tattoo? You started a new tattoo.
Yeah, outline done. It hurts. I
Dope.
passed out after I got here. I have, I think 3 or 4, I'm not yet sure, but more than likely 3 poems to share. So this is called You Are Whole. I think I only read it once here. Here it goes. Reduced to quantifiable parts of the whole, measurements, letters, numbers without meaning, defined by his leering eyes, ever watchful. 11 years old, 5'3" tall, 80 just skin and bones, 32 double A, this grows too tall, too thin, too flat, too young, too loud. He shouldn't even be looking this way towards a mere child. All of this shouldn't matter, but to him it does, and thus reduce, hunch your back, do not dare to be more than him, live to please, please to live, 16 years old, 5'4" tall, 120 and still hating this form, 34B, this growth that won't cease to grow, right numbers, wrong posture, abrasive, outspoken, sharp tongue, fists painted red, you will die alone, she said. Be nice, be sweet, let the threat of their hands define you. Men will talk and they will act, she insisted. Mark your distance, do not give them reasons. Water yourself down to a fraction of who you are so that her story does not repeat upon yours. Change yourself to fit the frames that others have built for you. 22 years old, 5'4", 152, you're letting yourself go. 36C, please stop growing. Medicated, soft-spoken, controlled, still too tall, too big, too shy, too little, too mush. You could have made yourself invisible until all that was left were the lies you told about yourself. But you were whole before him, and you will feel whole again. Too high on the clouds to care, dissipating into space dust, the primordial whirlpool that can never be measured or described. You are whole now, healed through your anger and sadness and time. The shadow can try again to climb through your branches and darken your halo, but it will fail. Unfazed by his gaze, unaffected by his lashing tongue, you are whole. That was one. The second one is an old one. Let me just get it in here. It should be here. This is called Who Taught You That? This was published on Chismosa Press, volume 3, I think it was. So here it is. Who taught you that? Who advised you on the benefits of trapping us in swarms, of setting us against each other as you watched from afar and laughed? Who told you being pinned down, hands in places you shamed, no permission given, trespassing made us wet? Who taught you that? Who demonstrated how to put your hands against our throats and choke the life out of us, long enough to see the halo shatter over your heads? Who tutored you on how to hate our existence while getting hot and bothered by our bodies? Who showed you the means to control us was to shame us? Who taught you that? Who showed you what you liked and who you liked it? Who told you to put to practice in every warm body you coveted? Who explained to you it is better to like it when we don't? that it is preferred we don't feel as you let yourself go. Who taught you that? Who showed you that anger made you memorize the names you call us, putas, fáciles, pirujas, the ways to debase us? Who mentored you so you would follow the same patterns we have seen time and time again, same disregard, same hatred, different hands and different faces? Who taught you that? To walk the fragile thread of killing us or loving us. It is enough. It's been enough since the early days of your violence. Now the tongue of my mother will ignite you in words. The hands of my sisters cast the first stones against your heads, paint your faces red, and will show you how to feel shame. We will teach you now. That was the second one. And I think I'm only gonna do another one, just a second. And this one is new-ish. This one is called Writing Sins, Discarding Tragedies. A teacher once told us to let go of any guilt, shame, pain by putting pen to paper, ink to paper, paper to flame, ashes to wind. An attempt, no doubt, at easing her own shortcomings, projecting her own experiences onto young, hormone-ridden, underdeveloped prefrontal cortex teenage minds, but it stuck. Years before that, pen to paper, ink to paper, paper to flame, then ashes meant writing only of heartbeats and heartbreaks, a new one every day. But the pen found my voice, and the ink turned to blood, voice to paper, blood to paper, paper to the flame of the spotlight. And now, well, now I write sins and tragedies. And that's it.
Kablam, kaboom. That is it. That is everything, Lee Martinez Soto. And you already have your Instagram handle right under. Is any,
Yes.
as always, you going to promote? Yeah.
So you can follow me on Instagram. It's cadáveres_literarios. If you cannot type that because Spanish is not your primary language, that's fine. You can also find me on Facebook as Lee Martinez Soto, and I'll post my links on the chat.
Excellent, excellent. And in terms of writing workshops, anything coming up?
I have one coming up on June, well, one on May 21st, which will be through the Borderline Rainbow Center. It's gonna be more focused on healing and using writing as a healing tool. And it combines the shadow work workshop and the previous workshop I did with Tumblewords. Fair warning, this one, although it is free, it is 4 hours long. So if you don't have 4 hours long, don't worry, you can attend part of it. Just if you can show some support, I would greatly appreciate it.
Lee, is that just a live workshop or is that also on Zoom?
It's online. It's all going to be online. Mm-hmm.
Oh, please put the thing in the chat so I can
Definitely.
sign up for it, please.
Alrighty then. Awesome. So shout out to the Borderland Rainbow Center. They do great work. If you're in the area, check it out. What they have going on. Shout out to the Sad Ghost and shout out to Panic at the Disco. Why not? Love that ending line there. All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess get back on the spotlight. All right, yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you, Lee. And of course, as I mentioned, I have a lot of footage of Lee reading live along with Robin and Kit and a couple other peeps. So in these next couple of weeks, I'll be posting that, as well as even Urban Cowboy Poet. I have footage of him reading when he came to El Paso. These are going to be like from the vault because it's taken a little while to get back. Patty, I have a video of Patty reading Poet Con in my studio. So those are going to be cool. I like the idea of giving them some time to breathe and nurture and grow. So be on the lookout, and you can see those videos exclusively on YouTube, or maybe not exclusively on YouTube. Maybe I'll share them elsewhere, but you can see them first, at least on YouTube. Alrighty then. All right. Let's go ahead and keep going. Our next performer is no stranger to our online mics and our in-person mics. Back in the day when we were at Black Orchid, he used to go and perform, and I know that he has recently moved out of town. Speaking of Mother's Day, I just recently ran into your mom at a bar. I don't know if she mentioned it, but she did kind of bring you up, and all of a sudden you're back here to perform. He has a new album out, which I'm super excited to listen to, but right now he's going to drop some poetry. Let's go ahead and welcome back. It's been a while. Some of you guys probably haven't even had a chance to meet him yet, but he has been here way back But let's go ahead and welcome back to the mic, Damian Smith. What's going on, Damian? How you doing?
Hey, Richie, what's going on?
What's going? Go ahead and take it away, man. Do your thing.
All right. So I'm going to do 2 poems. This first one is called Worship. Well, not poems, but actually rap songs, but I'm just going to read the lyrics. Yeah. Here I go. And also one more precursor. I curse a little bit in this rap. So just giving y'all a little bit of a warning. All right. These brands want to be worshipped. It's not about what's on the surface. Fuck Nike, Gucci, Versace. What's on the inside is priceless. These brands want to be worshipped. It's not about what's on the surface. Fuck Nike, Gucci, Versace. What's on the inside is priceless. 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 She got a fat ass and a pretty face and she think that's enough. She getting blown up. She about to pop, her ego getting pumped. Instagram got us gassed. Everybody wanna be a celebrity. We're sharing our lives of people that would never help us in need. And love me or hate me or feed off my energy, that's guaranteed. My mother was ashamed of what she put under our Christmas tree. I told her any gift from you is good enough for me. She gave us her time. She was always at the school functions. She was mom to my friends whose parents couldn't see them. That's love, fuck brands. I don't need no foreign. You can't keep me boxed in. Put my bands in savings. Might do some investing. Yeezys are so ugly. Stunt so hard with my New Balances, sweats, and white tees. That's just what I think, dog. Do you, I'ma do me. Fuck these brands. That's the first one. All right. Go ahead and get into the second one. The second one's called Stand Up Dude. I want to be a stand-up dude, someone that my nephew can look up to. I want to be a stand-up dude, someone that women say respectful. I want to be a stand-up dude, someone that a son can brag about. I want to be a stand-up dude, someone that don't take shit sitting down. It's my dream to be a great father, great son, great brother, great friend, great man. I'm getting better by the day, getting rid of all the ways that don't serve me. I see my potential. I'm trying to max that shit out. I see all my issues. I pulled my head out the clouds. It's easy to run. It's easy to coast. It's easy to point. It's easy to roast. I need to get better. What if something happened to my father? I would need to be there for my mother and sisters. And can't forget about my brother. We got different mothers, but I swear I love you, and that's never mattered. I want to be a stand-up dude, someone that my nephew can look up to. I want to be a stand-up dude, someone that women say respectful. I want to be a stand-up dude, someone that a son can brag about. I want to be a stand-up dude, someone that don't take shit sitting down. It's my dream to be a great father, great son, great brother, great friend, great man. Man, I'm getting better by the day, getting rid of all the ways that don't serve me. And that's it. It's my 2 poems or 2 raps.
That's right on, man. I always appreciate it when you can take off the beam, just present a cappella, my fella on the a cappella. So Damian, tell us about your upcoming album and where people can follow you online if they want to do so.
I'm working on a mixtape called say it with your chest. If you guys want to follow my music, it's my first name, last name, music on Instagram. So Damien Smith Music on Instagram. Also, one thing I want to talk about as well is for my song Stand Up Dude, I want the album cover to be pictures of men in people's lives that they admire. So if you're willing to send a picture and tell me about the story about a man who was a stand-up dude in your life, just DM me. But anyways, thank you for the opportunity and respect to all the artists who are being vulnerable. And yeah, y'all have a great rest of your night.
That's right. Thank you, Damien. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Join us from Tacoma, Washington, man. Yeah, we missed you in EP, but we got some good stuff coming on. So whenever you're back, let me know. All right. We'll talk later. Peace.
Got you.
Damien Smith Music. Check it out, guys. All right. So we're going to do some more hopping. We got some room. In fact, I pulled out some of my nearby collections that are, I'm looking for some poems that I'd like to share today as a cover poems. But for now, oh, by the way, shout out to Kay. Thanks for tuning in, checking us out on YouTube. As always, I've seen you here before. Thanks for the support. Yeah, if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, say hello in the live chat. We got other people in there like Andres holding it down. I'm there as well. All right, so we're gonna stick around and come to El Paso, one of the Fierce 15. And as always, when I introduce her, I gotta think of some music for some reason. So guess who's back? Back again. Patty's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? It's Patty. What's going on? Patty is in the house. We got to go to Jefferson High School last week and share some poetry with the kids. It was so much fun. What's going on, Patty? How are you doing today?
I'm good, and yourself?
Excellent. You were peeking in on me eating a burrito, so I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm happy with food. You know what I'm saying? All right, Patty, go and take it away. Work your magic.
All right, I'm just gonna go in 3 pieces tonight. First piece. I always saw myself as this interchangeable piece, completely dysfunctional at the flicker of the light, destructible, crushed like a soda can, yet somehow spongy, soaking in yesterday's mess and dripping into tomorrow's timeline. I saw myself as a palette. Some days the heels of my shoes leave residue of bright yellows and greens in between sidewalk cracks. I hold dandelions in my pockets, and it doesn't need to rain for me to see the rainbows. Other days the stroke of my paintbrush is short and staggered. Other times I'm staring at a blank piece of paper for hours, utterly unable, mumbling fractions without equaling solutions. I saw myself as the antenna at the top of a Radio City building. Lost in the essence of bass-riddled lyrics, soaring the galaxy of a single-man mission. Receiving, configuring, robotic, yet somehow completely and totally at the highest height of possibilities. I'm in this field labeled as constantly changing, wrapped around in a world of spoken of untold possibilities. See, some days I see myself as tall, hovering over mountains, getting cloud particles up in my nostrils, choking on invisible matter. And some days the clouds are so stretched across the sky, I can't tell what color it really is. Can't say which day I'm living in, can't tell you what direction this poem is actually in. Okay, second piece. I lost myself yesterday. Nose dived into the lining of the seat cushions in hopes the change I needed would be there. Saw each single reflection in the mirror and knew it wasn't me anymore. Somewhere between the weeds and the one single flower that grew, I slipped between the cracks. Wondered where I went, all the while going nowhere. Muttered whispers of unspoken words and hidden daggers. Life began to break the breakable. And that became the best excuse I could possibly think of. And last piece. I cowered at shadows, shine lights rather than externalize them within. I stare at the stars at night, but never catch one glaring. I question the length of every acre, but never run through the field. I'm drenched in raindrops without the appearance of rainbows in the sky. I wonder who stands in the mirror before me when each part of me lays within the coldness of bathroom tiles. I turn my shoulders to shrink myself smaller. I think incorrectly, speak abruptly, and have to remind myself to repeatedly breathe. I'm so human that I wonder if I was even created correctly. I'm so human that sometimes I wonder if I could reverse it. And done.
Oh, Jesus. You're gonna leave us like that? Just like that? Okay. Okay. I see how it is. Ours. Really quick before you take off, tell us about your book and how we can pre-order it and all that good stuff.
I am the worst person at marketing. I have a book coming out. I have a book coming out called Drenched Raincoat, and the last piece that I read is actually in the book. I'm doing pre-orders, so DM me or whatever. And that's it. Follow me. Patty is _poetic_life.
Damn, and there it is. Patty dropping bars. In fact, you gotta type that in the chat for it to be official. Bars. Straight up, great imagery. It's been so great to see your poetic journey, you know. I'm just here like for the ride. Just to anyway. Let's go ahead and keep going, guys. Welcome once again to the online open mic. If you're tuning in and watching, you're more than welcome to join. We got some room, we got some space tonight. If you want to sign up, let me know in the YouTube chat, or again, if you're on YouTube and want to join us, including if we, when we end the live stream, you can join us in the Zoom call and just hang out for a bit. And if you want to perform, there is a sign up link in the description. That is true of every single video we upload here. All right, let's go and keep going. Coming from a missile silo, we have a poet who dreams of being an astronaut. Earlier, I always hear people say generalissimo, but he's coming so quick with the poems. He gets so specific. Today I'm going to call him specificissimo. Okay, that probably won't stick, but joining us, our main man from Maine. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Generalissimo. What's going on, man? Welcome. You made it.
Gracias, Ricardo Marufo. So the first poem I'm going to read was actually from a ekphrastic workshop that was done by Diane Ward. And actually Diane Ward wasn't there this time, but Ron Mark Thompson. And it was based on two photographs of a sunset, and I don't think they were through different filters or something. So I'm just gonna read this. I had heard of pink cotton candy clouds, but the ones I saw weren't real. At first, the sky was a yellowish, almost piss color, mixed with grays that had been released from smokestacks of the industrial skyline. I guess, depending on what time of day you take a picture, the factories disappear into silhouette and seem more like skyscrapers and apartments. Industrial New Jersey can easily look like Manhattan or Chicago. But the fact that my friend Lola didn't tell me she had laced the cotton candy with LSD, but due to the fact my friend Lola didn't tell me she had laced the cotton candy with LSD, the sky I saw looked like it was made of pink cotton candy clouds. And then I'm just going to do a piece that I did on Saturday in Tumblewords. So let me find it because it's still in the book. It's tentatively titled Why Ethan Allen's Ghost Thinks He Should Be on the Deed to My House. Shortly after I bought my house, the first home truly my own, I found a 1970s orange velvet Ethan Allen wingback chair I had to drive an hour to Waterville, Maine to claim for only $40 from a Facebook ad. It was in a salon in a strip mall that had been an old railway station. I walked into the salon and sat down in the chair expecting collapsed springs, worn upholstery, or cigarette smell, but none of that existed. I was able to fit it into the back of my robe by folding the back seat flat and turning the chair at an awkward angle. It was surprisingly unheavy to carry into my house to the bedroom. In my adult life, I have never lived anywhere with a bedroom large enough for a reading chair. This 1970s chair had a wide set seat and was comfortable with a straight up 90-degree back, conducive to reading poetry late at night, next to the mid-century style stand-up lamp I bought at the Crate and Barrel outlet in Kittery. In a way, the reading chair was as much of a milestone as the house, a sanctuary within a sanctuary, an item I have featured or mentioned, and at least 3 other poems I have written since I acquired it. Every time I plop my butt into the chair that I consider to be a prized possession, I feel as if I have crossed a threshold I refuse to return from. Thank you.
Okay.
And this Saturday, I will be doing Tumble Words with a little help from my friends. I'll have some guest poets, including Sky's the Limit and Christopher George and one other poet, and it ought to be a really good one. So, and then Monday is my next Cafe Journalismo. So thank you, everyone. I'll put everything in, including how to buy my book, into the chat. Gracias, Richie. Gracias, Kit.
Thank you, Generalissimo.
And gracias, Robin, if you're still here, for giving us Kit.
There you go. The continuing theme from earlier. Robin shared a poem about Kit. Did great. Yeah. Okay. I am gonna be free next Monday, so I'm definitely gonna make it the cafe, and share some cafecito with you guys. So I'll be on the lookout for that. Yes, please share links if you can. And we're gonna go continue on with tonight. Tanish is in the house. What's up, Tanish? I just saw that you signed up. Perfect. We will add you to the list. I'll let you know where that is right now. But for right now, we are gonna go ahead and go to Cleveland. And I feel like it's kind of been a little while. You know, he's been a regular, but I've already dropped his name earlier tonight because when he came to El Paso, we were able to do a recording session in my studio. So that'll be coming out pretty soon. We also got to jam together. You know, that was super fun on top of the mountain and in the studio. So we got urban cowboy poet in the house, Mr. UCP, at the place to be. What is going on? How you doing right now?
I'm doing good. What's going on? I'm unmuted, right?
You're good.
I just got in last minute into the first 15. So Red and Green Books is going to publish my book, but right now I got to piece all the manuscript together and get it in. So I'm certainly not ready for pre-orders, and I'm not writing any more urban legends unless I can fit one more in the book. So I'll move on to writing something else. But I feel like singing. I write parodies, of course. And you're doing a song. I mean, the one I did in your studio is coming out, but not yet, or what?
Yes, it will be coming out pretty soon.
Okay, then
I'll message it to you.
Tell me. Okay, because that's a parody of Billy Joel parody, and Billy Joel's birthday's today. I always remember because my birthday's tomorrow, and he's one day older than I am. I could do that one, or I could do my Mother's Day song because Mother's Day was yesterday, and I don't do that once a year. So I'm gonna do my John Denver parody. So get ready for some toe tapping and knee slapping. Well, life in my family was really kind of cool. We were loved and supported when we were going to school. My mama raised the 6 of us to be nobody's fool. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. Music, love, and laughter were my mom and dad's thing. Daddy taught me to be funny. Mama taught me how to sing. Their role models were Jesus and Martin Luther King. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. Well, I got me 3 sisters and I got me 2 brothers, and I would never trade them for any others. We were all so lucky we were raised by my mother. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. Mama taught me to be fair and to treat all people right. Don't go thinking I'm special just because I'm white. Try to be understanding of everybody's plight. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. She said, say what you mean and you won't have to fear. Don't just tell people what they want to hear. Use tech, but be as honest as a full-length mirror. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. Well, I got me 3 sisters and I got me 2 brothers, and I would never trade them for any others. We were all so lucky we were raised by my mother. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. She said, with music in your life, you can't go wrong. So she taught the 6 of us to raise our voice in song. Only one of us we wish would just hum along. Thanks God I'm my mama's boy. She said, all people got the right to be what they can. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. If you see an injustice, you got to take a stand. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. Well, I got me 3 sisters and I got me 2 brothers, and I would never trade them for any others. We were all so lucky we were raised by my mother. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. When kids bully us or teachers treat us unfair or our spouses do us wrong, then from out of nowhere, mom shows up to defend us like a big old mother bear. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. The folks were kind to each other every single day. My mama loved my daddy up until he passed away. I've emulated them to be the man I am today. Thank God I'm my mama's boy. Well, I got me 3 sisters and I got me 2 brothers, and I wouldn't ever trade them for any others. We were all so lucky we were raised by my mother. Woo! Thank God I'm my mama's boy. Happy Mother's Day. Day late, everybody. All your mothers.
Oh, that was great, man. That was awesome.
The Billy Joel song I've done so many times, and it's coming out. Is that going to be... I did 2 pieces with you, Richie. Are they going to be separate?
It'll be one video. All one
What?
video. It'll be one video.
One video. Kind of like it. Wanted to have the song separate video. I have it, enmeshed in other things. Could you separate them?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, I guess that's enough for today. Yeah, I'm not going to read anymore. I just want to, you were talking about the deers across the road. This morning, I was driving to a doctor appointment on this 4-lane street, and something small was in the road, but it was stopped traffic both directions. And I got up close and I saw it was a extended family of Canada geese. It was like 6 adults and at least 15 little geese crossing the street at their own slow pace, and all the traffic stopped. It was like that book, Make Way for Ducklings.
And here we were thinking Canadians are polite.
Yeah.
Did you stop and take a gander?
They're really nasty and aggressive, but we're so nice to them. We stop and walk across. But the other day,
Sorry, I need a little like symbol app.
And when they're guarding the new babies, they stick their tongue out. But one flew up right into my face, like 6 inches away from my face, and honked at me. Yeah, nasty. But yet, with their little babies, you can't.
No, not at all. All right, thank you, UCP. Do you got anything coming up you'd like to promote really quick? I know that you have your YouTube channel, Urban Cowboy Poetry, and Facebook as well, right?
The readathon that Terry put it in the chat because I didn't know the details.
15.
This Sunday, I
on
guess
that.
it's what?
Do you have a title yet
For the book?
Yeah.
Urban Cowboy Poetry.
Oh, gotta keep with the classic. All right, cool.
Because that's what it is.
Perfect.
And then I have 2 book projects I started years ago. Maybe I'll get back to them, but it seems I have a knack for doing funny rhyming stories, so maybe I'll do more of those.
All righty then. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a while since you've been able to join us, so we are gonna continue our virtual open mic journey and go from the land of Cleves and go to Washington, D.C., where we have Mr. Ed Poetastic ready to do his thing. Yo, Ed, what's going on, my brother?
Not
Mi
the only my
hermano.
brother, but now the mother with words of thunder. And what's up, Richie? What can I say? Then you always make my day. Woo! Yeah, nothing else. Oh, maybe my shirt. Just do it. I'm sorry, it's backwards. But anywho, let's go on through. My name is Ed Postastic. Only you feel fantastic. Please get a time to control my rhyme for all you feel sublime. I got 3 pieces, so you know they're gonna rhyme. My first piece is called Burnt Darkness. I see a red door and I want to paint it black. It's the ink in my core, negativity that keeps building up in stacks. I see women dressed in feisty candy red. I know I'll turn to sand, holding my heart by a thin thread. So many chirping flowers, blowing careless whispers. False hopes are towers, only offer shade, can't simply deliver. Honks of annoying animals, flashing bright eyes, heavier than steel or anvils. Be careful, don't want to be one with the flies. I see people, eyes covered in bleach, the most crankiest of beetles, silent but leech, leech, and leech. Some tasty bean brew, make it black. Give me an exciting view, one big energized heart attack. Give me some oil, my pale bones starve, natural as the dirty soil. Drown my barking scars, toss away the colors, they sizzle my eyes. No more bright summers, let my sleeping dogs die. Pitch night offers me relief, cold warms me so too much. Signs of bitter relief, a light ghostly touch. Body tossing in a twilight abyss, tucked in a darkened cocoon, basking in a burnt mist, underneath a chalky moon. Inky shadows lay in bed, offering me silent company, somewhere to rest my dark head, empty hands open for a drop of sympathy. Thank you. All right, got one more in store for an encore. This other piece is called Karma's Tears. I'm still here where you left me, beaten alone. I look the same, but my heart is black and stone. You'll pull me like a puppet with invisible strings. My deep open scars and wounds still sings. I hate you, no, I love you, no, I despise you with every fire of my soul. You turn my innocence into shadowy coal. Fuck you over again for everything you've done. I hope you feel the burns of a billion suns. The burning pain feels like walking barefoot in a river of snakes. The thought of it keeps my inner scars awake. All you say is sorry. Can you go back in time so you can redo your wrongs and return what is mine? My carefree hopes, sparkling dreams, and luminous days. Now I'm colorblind with a permanent vision of gray. You had a crazy look in your eyes, but I paid it no mind. I was so lost in a delusional fantasy. I didn't want to see the screaming signs. You bellowed it wasn't you, but it was me. Here's a fact, even the blind admit they can't see. My bed feels like pins and needles that are slowly eating away. My body labeled being a fool in the deep, dark cascades. I curse you, but I want you to suffer more. I want someone or something to rip out your bloody core. I want justice from playing your melancholy and demented games. I just want redemption from the suffocating shame. You're just a vile, venomous memory inside of me. I hope karma's punishment can set you free. Thank you. Got one more. Thank you. This is called Sorry Not Sorry. My mouth remains closed. I can't easily forgive. Yes, I'm closed like stone. Why should I give to live? Some closed minds don't get fed. Why should I apologize to you? My heart is full of lead. Hard lessons stick like glue. I know rage makes you sick. A rock drowning without end. Let's hold up, stop, and think. This feeling separates our enemies and friends. Every time I say I'm sorry, I bite my tongue. You don't deserve no sympathy. Oh, the monster I become. You hurt me without thought or mind. Why should I give you forgiveness? No, everything's not all right or fine. Why should I give you bliss? Jesus turned the other cheek. Yes, but I'm not that guy. Jesus was murdered being a freak. It's all in the Bible. I tell no lies. I'm sorry, not sorry. I can't apologize. I can't give you glory. There's no sympathy in your eyes. Apologizing makes you feel better. Does it really make you feel good? It's not going to sunny my weather. I know, but I deeply wish I could. Where were you when I created rain? Where were you when I was empty? Where are you against the pain? Where was your heartfelt empathy? I understand saying sorry makes me a better man. Too bad I seriously don't fucking care. You never offer me an ear or a hand. You were never fucking there. Please just stay the fuck away from me. You do more harm than good. You're a beacon of my deep, dark misery. Yes, leave me being completely misunderstood. Thank you.
Yeah, Ed, dope, man. Dope set. What you got coming up, man? You like to promote?
The only thing I like to promote is this wonderful open mic that makes everyone's Monday night such a delight. And no, I don't have anything. I'm just going around, just sharing so many fantastic and wonderful sounds.
Right
Yep,
on.
when's
the next movie night?
Oh, I forgot. You're right. It's on Wednesday. Please, it's at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're watching La La Land. So please, please, please take off your shoes, get some granola, popcorn, cookies, or whatever. Just relax and just enjoy a movie.
Sit, kick back, relax. I love it. Appreciate you, Ed. Thanks for coming on as always. Thank you.
Thank you, my man.
Got to go with the heart. Oh yeah, man. Movie nights. I just heard back in the day we used to have a little cafe called Fellini's Film Cafe. It was one of my favorite spots in town. They would show like independent films, unique, like interesting films, and then they had coffee and popcorn, just like simple sandwiches. It was a really cool hangout spot. I just found out today that they're opening up a similar concept downtown. So if you guys are in El Paso, I'm letting you know right now that's going to be a cool spot to hit up. They're going to open in summer, so June, July. Be on the lookout for that. Can't remember the name right now, but shoot me a message and I'll send you their info because that's going to be super cool to go visit. All right. I'm gonna stop geeking out there for a moment. We're gonna go from DC to San Francisco. That's right. Tanish has joined us on the call tonight. Tanish wanted to perform last week, wasn't sure, it was a little longer list, but tonight gets to make it on. Tanish Kaur, what's going on? How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm trying this poem out. So we'll see. It's called Life Beyond Light Break. I walk into the indifference of suffering, a scalding, windowless room of crippling rumination. You can make it through 2 doors opposite, enter and exit. You can make it through if you recall the hope of light sprinkling through tree leaves or the weightlessness of wind tickling hair wild. Surviving that room means overcoming your indifference to your own suffering, owning and living by your own self-worth, learning to deserve your own worry. And then the light cracks, the roof falls, you see the exit door, but even in light break you must leave. Foot after foot, through the door you must end your indifference to others' suffering. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Tanish. Meditation on indifference. Are you practicing that for an upcoming future or something? Or
no, I think I just try to do that with the poems and try to memorize them every once in a while.
Awesome. And now it's been a while since you've been on the show. For people who are watching on YouTube and maybe are seeing you for the first time, how can they support and follow your work online?
Okay, yeah, you can find me at www.tanishkantos.com, and then I'm also on IG and YouTube on at Tanish Kantos.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for that. If you want, you can also drop links in the chat there. Thank you.
Sure, and we have a show coming up tomorrow It's me, Elemental, and Propaganda Poet, and we do this on at Poetically Speaking X3.
Oh, that is awesome. That's an Instagram show, right?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
You've been there. I don't know how long you've stayed though, but thank you for popping through. I really appreciate it. I enjoy seeing your name.
All right. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Gotta check those out. So that's tomorrow. All right.
Yes.
Be on the lookout for that. Cool. Cool. Oh, I'm doing an open mic tomorrow. Dang it. Well, be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Tanish, for coming through. We're gonna continue looking through the list. And next up, he made it. You know, he didn't sign up today. So I was like, oh man, he's taking the night off. That's cool. Well deserved. But you know, he jumped in and he's gonna perform a little something. So let's go ahead and, as always, welcome the amazing Nick Paleologos. What's going on, man?
Hi, friends. Hi, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
How y'all doing? Yeah, I was doing a peer review and everything, so that's why I was a little late and everything. But you know, I'm here. I'm just gonna do 2 tonight because it's a little late. So yeah. This first one's a new limerick that I made, and I haven't made a limerick in a while. So everybody knows the Wendy's cereal that just came out. This is about that. Wendy's made a cereal to make it taste ethereal. What the chain didn't know that the people would show, it is not the same as the raw material. It's basically not a good cereal. And this second one is from my book, Ad versus Reaction. This one talks about Mother Gaia. It was for Mother's Day yesterday. This one's called Gardens Are a Necessity. Try to outstretch time. Flowers bloom with sunlight, shine under moonlight, encase capsules of rain. A flower is tougher than a bullet. Vines are stronger than pliers. Rose petals are soft hands. Azaleas remind us to self-care. Blueberries absorb sadness. Raspberries heal the figures. Concrete cannot contain Gaia. Many have tried. All have failed. Gaia always wins in the end. Gardens release stress off our bodies. Crops renourish our vessels. We're within a garden. Serenity graces us, invigorates us. I remember the garden my grandpa and my grandma had. It was magnificent. I miss it. I will have one soon. Make sure you thank Gaia when you start one, if you haven't already. And that's all I got today.
All right, man. Appreciate you for taking the time to come and share something on the mic tonight. What do you have coming on this week that you'd like to share and promote?
I don't have anything this week as of now. Oh, I will be at Hybrid in the Lower East Side, Manhattan, and I also am going to be at a convention in Brooklyn in June. So if you want to check that out and everything, also Facebook Nick Paleologos, IG Real Nick P. I just actually did an interview with Hector Castañeda. We both interviewed each other on our books and everything. It's up on my IG. You can go check out and everything. It's really cool and everything. It was a lot of fun to do that. I don't have anything. Oh, I also have the next Right to the Mic is not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, the 18th. So I'll drop all my info in the chat for y'all and everything. Thanks for having me, Richie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Love the lightning in the background. Sometimes that's what we're doing in here as well, sharing some lightning and thunder through our words. All righty then. Nick P, thank you so much. At the place to be, the real Nick P on Instagram. Go check out that stuff. That interview sounds cool. I gotta check it out. And that's a really cool concept. Ideas brewing. Okay, anyway, put down on the back burner for now with all the other stuff in the back burner. We're gonna go ahead and go from New Jersey. I like how we're kind of jumping around from coast to coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, as smooth as a juke, you know, from a running back. All right, we're gonna go to Los Angeles, where we're gonna check in with Mr. Dessel Somok. And he's got, as always, some stuff brewing, poetry, music. What is going on? It's time for another test.
What's up, Richie?
How you doing? Me? Yeah, hear you fine.
All right, good. Did I read part 5 last time, or did I read part 4?
I think you read part 5.
I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Damn.
You got there.
I'm gonna read a portion of part 6 in a song. Okay.
Órale.
So we are continuing with I'm Not Your Chihuahua. By the way, you can catch me on Instagram under Gashes 2019. I'm Not Your Chihuahua, Part 6. Guttural Glossia, Guttural. They can't handle the smooth roughness, taking two words, meaning totally opposite. The lyrical engineers will take them, make them fit, create another definition out of them, out of the two. Latin Alliance. Yeah, that was the epitaph. The piece begins. I am not Juan Cagadera nor Johnny Chincas. I'm the observer stranger with a mythic pastiche identity moving across your Orientalist folkloric imagination. The guttural barking speech with articulation near the back of the oral cavity where they rascan tu garganta. Near the end of the classroom, near the end of Red Line Society, near the end of the bus. I am your Palo Verde Yaqui mythic speech, rumbling at the edges of marginal society where it's difficult to distinguish place of articulation and phonation. The choke, chain, imprecise sounds that are produced relatively far back in your vocal track, wherein a knee or a forearm is applied as a chokehold, a neck restraint, a conscious neck restraint, an unconscious neck restraint. I can't breathe. The punitive corduroy hold followed by the behavioral sublimating ketamine injection to induce disassociation and a knee to the neck of excited delirium. Excited delirium is like a ladrillo, like the same as a gritillo of a perrillo. Your canine cognitive dysfunction, socially disoriented, socially altered interactions, social soiling, random sleep-wake, wake cycling, trouble eating, finding water, food, the ODD, and repetitive restless movements. The DMS5 pathophysiologic pre-existing and toxically exposed acutely triggered onset of deficits in attention, awareness, and cognition. The global brain dysfunction, cognitive impaired across multiple domains. If only I had prayed to San Alejo, I wouldn't be so pendejo. The K9 psychomotor disturbances and delirium of the phenotypic, hyperactive, hypoactive, and mixed. The putting down of strays with the mythic justification of excited delirium is betrayed by the hyperactive delirium of mere psychomotor agitation, restlessness, and emotional ability, which turns out to be the psychosis of mania or dementia. The hypoactive delirium is characterized by psychomotor retardation, lethargy, and decreased levels of responsiveness, and often the misdiagnosed as depression. You see, these betray the justification for police murder, for the justification of excited delirium. There's no such thing as excited delirium. I am chuqueando, perreando my sideways crip walk across textual terrains through hedonistic, phantasmagoric rituals, thanatos, mass cultural dirges, and hyperreal symbolic misery. Shuffling post-colonial Mexican, postmodern Gabacho discursive formations I am payaseando al coyote Lupe Lastes, sad Chicano clown, often faded, often on the dithered brown skins, something akin to the gesturing smile now, cabron, cry later, puto gemelo clowns, signaling the semiotic misery of erasing cause and effect, erasing the vendido instinct hard to overcome because of the adulterated free rider nature of your inverted conflict between loyalty and greed. The stoic behind the gafas while squatting against the wall, meaning don't fuck with me, weakness, smile now and cry later, mi glacia attitude for the tough times in the hood, the chingado people's clown telling you if you step up, be ready to gamble your life. We's ready to gamble life. We gamble against the quiet architects of our miseries, minions who serve corporate power and reshape political order towards greater misery. The cucaracha architects have chumped us, making us march from the feet of outrage to the lap of sadness. Stiegler's architects starved the lambs into bleeding submission, coyoteando, corraleando with the seizure of the symbolic by the industrial chisme factory aesthetic as a spectacle and a weapon of economic war. Borders don't apply now. East LA is everywhere, grunk. Mátenme a pedos. Quiero morir cagado. In peace. That was that.
Payaseando, huh?
I still have a middle section that I'm working through, so be patient with me. It's getting harder. So I'm gonna close out with this song. So this song is from the late '60s. It's considered the first environmental song, or at least adopted as a first environmental song. So we'll see how bad I destroy it for Kid here. Breathe in the air. Don't be afraid to care. Leave, don't leave me. Look around and choose your own ground. Long you live and high you fly. Smiles you let you give and tears you'll cry. rabbit run. Dig that hole, forget the sun, and when at last the work is done, don't sit down, it's time to dig another one. Long you live and long you fly, but only if you ride the tide. Balance on the biggest wave, you race towards an early grave. In peace.
Right, take on Pink Floyd. You've done a Pink Floyd cover before, right?
Yeah, I've done a couple.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, I remember.
That one's from Dark Side of the Moon.
Which was 72, not late
intro,
60s.
The intro threw me off. Yeah, it was.
Felt like the late 60s, kid. Thank you.
Everything feels like the late 60s. It's when time froze for a lot of boomers.
Yeah.
I know. It's like
You're still living in it.
It's a constant erasure at the end. But anyway, I had a really good time in Holyoke, Massachusetts, in Springfield. It was a really great event. My co-feature was Magdalena Gomez. These were the first two Latina poet laureates of Massachusetts, or one of those towns in Massachusetts. So it was quite impressive. So I was very privileged to be in such great company, and the performances. Magdalena's performance was quite amazing. So really enjoyed the trip. It was my first live gig and since the pandemic, so it's a good way to come out all the way out the other coast with Generalissimo's New Englanders over there. All the Gothic and late French architecture.
Right on. Yeah, I saw some photos there. There was a caption that I really loved too. That I think was I don't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, that's cool. Glad you got to experience it. Yes. Yeah, that one.
That was Karen Warinsky. She's a local poet there, and I had met her through another open mic, and we finally met in person. It was quite amazing experience.
Excellent. Cool. Thank you. So of course, if people want to support and follow your work, check out some upcoming stuff, they can do so where again?
People can follow me on Instagram under Gashes 2019, also on Facebook under Gashes 2019. And then if you want to keep abreast of the open mics, we have the Pandemic Poets group. And let's see, just getting lots of stuff published, and stuff's happening. So we're chugging along. Thank you, Richie.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Before we get to our closer, and that way, so I can also mention it, so you can have some time to get ready. I do want to mention a couple of things. So I've been thinking about literary citizenship, and how we participate, and we do that so much more now here at these mics, online mics. But even as I went and grabbed copies of books from friends over the years, it's cool to support. And so if you're in El Paso, I do want to invite those of you who are able to attend. Hold on, Dan, I'm not introducing you yet. I'm going to mute you. All right. This Thursday, my friend Yasmina Ramirez, friend, colleague, she has her book that is out. It started with Cinco Punto Press, which was a local publisher, and then it was sold off to Lee and Low Books. And her book, it's a memoir, Ana la Prieta, is released, and she's going to have a reading with a couple other local authors, including Abby Carl Clausen, who also went with us to Jefferson and got to share some of her writing with the kids there. She's going to be reading. Local author Rich Yanez is going to MC. I'll be there, also kind of help running the show with some sound, lighting, audio, stuff like that. But come through. It's at the San Carlos building. I think doors open at 7. So come through, hang out. Or maybe I might be off on that. But if you're interested in checking that out, it is free, but it's a great literary event. And I always encourage, if you guys have an opportunity to go to things like that, it's a great way to just meet other people, other writers in the community, and who don't necessarily come to these or go to the open mics, but are publishing and writing. It's good to be part of all that. Yasmin was the executive director of Border Census too for a little while. So it'd be cool to hear her talk about her book. All right. I did want to, you know what? Yeah, I got some poems that I want to share, but I'll go ahead and use it to close the night after Dan. I just want to do a couple cover poems. So now, without further ado, I think it's you can go ahead and unmute now. We're gonna go ahead and bring up Closer. You know him. He has a weekly video blog, aka a vlog, called Dan the Man's Weekly, and at times the border between that and this open mic blurs, and sometimes it becomes part of this show. But without further ado, it's time once again to bring up Dan the Man at the online mic. What's up, Dan? Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Richie. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay. Yeah. There it is once again. There it is once again. This will be the last. And I think I got three poems for Swan by Mary Oliver. Okay. I got today, page 14. Today is a day of dark clouds and slow rain. The little blades of corn are so happy, end quote. It is early, page 17. Hold on. Okay. It is early, still the darkness of the dark, and I already have killed in an exasperation 2 mosquitoes and inadvertently 1 spider. All the same, the sun will rise in its sweep of pink and red clouds. Not for me does it rise, and not in haste does it rise, but step by step, neither with exasperation nor inadvertently, and not with any intended attention to anything but one thing, but to all like a God. That takes in its instructions from another greater, even greater, whose name even we do not know, the one that made the mosquito and the spiders, one that made me as I am, easy to exasperation, then penitent. End quote. Hold on. Okay, how many days? Page 18. How many days I lived and had never used the holy word. Tenderly I began them when it came to me to want to, oh, mystery irrefutable. Then I went out. Then I went out of that place and into a field and lay down among the weeds and the grasses and whispering to them fast in order to keep that world us also. Dancing in Mexico, page 22. Not myself, but Maria, who were, when her work is done, tunes in the radio, goes out into the garden, picks up the front feet of the little dog, Ricky, and dances. She dances. Well, okay. Okay. Last one from this. The poet dreams of the mountains, page 31. Sometimes I grow weary of the days with all their fits and starts. I want to climb some old gray mountain slowly, taking the rest of my lifetime to do it, resting often, sleeping under the pines or above them on the unclosed rocks. I want to see how many stars are still in the sky that we have smothered for years now, at least a century. I want to look back at everything, forgiving it all, and peaceful in knowing that the last thing there is to know, all that urgency, not what the earth is about, how silent the trees in their poetry, being of themselves only. I want to take slow steps and think inappropriate thoughts. In 10,000 years, maybe a piece of the mountain will fall. Well, it's Swans, a poetry and prose poems by Mary Oliver. Okay. And I got one from the Border Census, spring 2006, volume 11. Obvious in El Paso by Estela Valles, page 55. I am leafy wards, completely senseless, spinning slowly, softly, thwarting a tempo, my heart aching, sweatly, like butterscotch, bubbling on an open fire pit for all to see. As I nibble on the vacant places, am drunk on barring air, time is like raw opium, draining, sour smelling, stale hopes as I continue spinning slowly, softly. I am fully heartless, devoid of promises to offer, dull and sightless, sinking calmly, finally unafraid of singing desert nightingales. And quote. Yeah, bordercensus.com. That was obvious in El Paso by Estela Valles, page 55. Border Census. Border Census. Spring 2006, volume 11. All right. Yeah, and a little tough, almost a walking day in downtown last Cinco de Mayo. Well, I took the bus from home, and I went good and head downtown, and then I walked from Missouri Avenue, Oregon Street to Texas Avenue, walking to Brown Street, the Craft Rhythm and Brews. Then I thought it was supposed to be a Cinco de Mayo music fest, but I don't know what happened. Oh well, but there was no one there. And so I continued walking to the Pronto Body Shop where my friend Tiffany was working there. I sat down, drank a glass of water, and then I continued walking from the Pronto Body Shop and onward. And then I saw the new Lowbrow Palace that they just moved from Robinson Avenue outside UTEP to Texas Avenue. But wow. That's a nice place. I have no idea who the Killer Bees are. The Killer Bees are the band. Yeah, I wish it was the GFM band. I continued walking, entering downtown, going block and block. The district was closed, which I thought was supposed to be closed at 6, but it wasn't. I don't know what happened. It closed early. But I kept walking, and I kept walking, and I went on Mesa Street, and I kept heading north and passing the I-10 and made a stop at the Manor at 10:11, where the City Magazine was holding its May issue release party. That's yeah, there it is. Okay.
Cool, man. Where can people find you on?
Hold on, I'm almost done. Then
Okay.
after the Manor, I walked south to Mesa, headed to the International, where the comedians are playing. Anthony Austin Brown, Adam Dominguez, Anthony Ryan. They were making a comedy performance. And thanks to Jenny, she Ubered me a ride home. That was the unforgettable 4th of the Cinco de Mayo. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm gonna share my. Not really. Oh, come on. Thank you. Mhm.
You can just tell us, man. We don't need the card.
Okay, here it is. Read it and weep it. For those of you who are new here, please screenshot this. All right, find me on Twitter, Instagram, page, Facebook. I'm behind on posts on Twitter and Facebook, but you can still mostly catch me on Instagram. So, all right, find Anthemans Weekly on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I always thought about like Fizz and the Transom, the Walker, and the Proclaimers. I want to walk 500 miles. I've been playing these songs while I was walking.
Hell yeah, man. You got to have a good playlist, a good walking playlist.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Dan. What? You got more announcements?
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So thanks a lot, Richie. And I'll try to see you tomorrow at the Mona Bar. All right, let's go ahead and do your thing, and let's see if we can close out the night.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
All right, cool. So I left a link where if you guys want to check that out on Thursday, the release party, it's going to be a really good book, really good event. for a great book. All right, I got a couple covers I want to share to end the night. And as always, if you're on YouTube, if you want to hang out with us a little bit afterwards, as soon as we end the live stream, we hang out on the Zoom for a little bit, talking about anything, everything. I got a little bit more energy today, so I'll stick around for a bit. But I'm gonna mute you, Dan. All right. I got a couple pieces I want to share. This is from a collection called Thrown in the Throat by Benjamin Garcia. Just want to highlight some of the collections I've been reading. So this one's called Bliss Point, or What Can Be Best Achieved by Cheese, aka the other gold. Now that's the stuff. Shredded or melted or powdered or canned, behold, the pinnacle of man in a Cheeto puff. Now that's the stuff. You've been primed for fatty and salty and crunchy, and poof, gone. There's the proof. Though your grandmother never had one, you can't have just one. You inhale them puff after puff after puff. You're a chain smoker, tongue coated and coaxed, but not saturated or satiated. It's like pure flavor, but sadder. Each pink ping of your pinball mouth, expertly played by the makers who have studied you, the human animal, and cold from the rind of your Eve in the shape of a cheese curl. Girl, come curl in the dim light of the TV, veg out on the verge of no urge of anything. Long ago, we beached ourselves, climbed up trees, then down the trees, knuckled across the dirt and grasses and thorns and Berber carpet. Now is the age of sitting, so sit. And I must say, crouched on the couch like that, you resemble no animal. Smug in your snuggie and snug in your sloth, you look nothing like a sloth. And you are not an anteater. An anteater eats ants without fear of diabetes, though breathing, one could say, resembles a chronic disease. What's real cheese and what is cheese product? It's difficult to say, but being alive today is real, really like a book you can't put down, a stone that plummets from the great height. Life's a page turner, all right. But don't worry, if you miss the finale of your favorite show, you can catch it on cue. Make room for me and I'll binge on this, the final season with you. Thrown in the Throat, winner of the National Poetry Series, Milkweed Press. All right. I referenced this book recently. It's called Piñata Theory by Alan Chazaro out of the Bay Area. This one's called Leaving Footprints on Waterfalls. There is a voice telling me to hold chocolate inside my mouth. I don't know what it means. Like I don't know how lines can break us apart. I mean this literally, how borders are thresholds of the imagination, how some can be crossed. In dreams, I wonder what is real that isn't shared with others. How we share memories like sweetbread. How a sweetbread crumbles when shared. How the word me lives in America and in Mexico. How I am a forest that grows during wildfires. Okay, that's a shorter one. And to end it off, I want to share a personal one. This is from my good friend Nancy Lechuga. This is her first chapbook, and she's over in South Korea currently with my homie, her husband Luis Camberos. So shout out to Nancy and Luis. This poem is called "I Had No Idea." I had no idea I sleep on filthy sheets, not knowing when I'll see you next. So would you please send me a vial of your DNA every 2 weeks to replace your skin cells on my bed that water and soap wash away? Anything will do. A hair from your beard, pillowcase from your midnight drool, a sock, anything your skin has touched. Will you send me a bag of words, a footprint, a loose screw? Please send me a picture of your index finger's thumbprint. It is quite marvelous. What about a pic of your hand to remember the night I read your palm, licked your love line, and caressed your life with a strand of my hair? I wish I could have collected your sighs, the times you cracked your jaw. I would have placed them in plastic bags to keep me company when you're gone. If I had known you were leaving, I wouldn't have washed your shirt, your pants, your scent, your touch interlaced with dyed fabric to keep me warm at night. Why'd you leave me in the winter? It is 23 degrees outside. If I knew you were leaving, I would have drawn maps of your wrinkled elbow skin, memorized the creases of your forehead, kept a sketchbook of your smiles, and a detailed description of the way you round your O's. Oh, honey, if I had known this, I would have held you tighter, kissed you deep enough to lose my breath in between the sofa cushions, and we would have laughed, digging it out together. If I had known you were not coming back, I would have turned into a cat. I would have turned into a wolf. I would have painted your body with my red lips, traced your hand on a piece of paper and made a turkey. I would have preserved your falling lashes, recorded 11 wishes on tape. Baby, if I had known, I would have sang the Itsy Bitsy Spider hip hop style, head banged to your moans and grunts, tongue traced my name around your nipples and told you that I loved you one last time. If I had known, oh honey, if I had known. And that was just kind of premised on the idea of every 2 weeks your skin cells are, replaced and all that. Yo, all right. Thank you for everyone who came through. Shout out once again to everyone on YouTube. Ron Mark Thompson was there today as well. Julian Matthews checked in as well for a bit. Andres, Donna Snyder, Kay. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. I'm just going off of the chat here. So shout out. And of course, shout out to everyone who performed today. As always, we're going to go ahead and end the live stream, but continue on the Zoom call for a bit. Again, if you want to join us, you can just use the link in the description. But for the stay-at-home open mic, we will be back next Monday. We got a bunch this month, so be on the lookout. We're coming through. This comes out. I'll see you guys next time. Also, shout out to Kit for always leaving the timestamps. Go back and catch past shows.